on his site, dailypwn.com, Call of Duty series riddled with controversy. And we need to write another article today if you want to get it up with the YouTube. We're going to put this on YouTube later. And right now, let's go back to your phone calls, and I'm going to get into the value-added tax, the carbon tax that they're now pushing, and they have conservatives pushing it as well. Very, very dangerous, very, very scary. And we're going to talk about some snitch culture information as well. But I want to race through your calls now. Have your points ready, folks, because I'm going to go to you one after the other. Daryl in Tennessee, you're on the air.
Yeah, Alex, great show, great interview. And I just wanted to invite some people here in Bartlett, Tennessee, Memphis, Tennessee area. The Bartlett police are using their personal vehicles to monitor traffic and pull people over and write tickets. It started off with just one sort of a test run. And you saw this cop in just a Chrysler Sebring, no markings, with two little lights in the grill, and out steps the gentleman in black and writing people tickets.
And a lot of departments give them seized cars and let them use it as their own, which is a form of booty.
Right. And that was my next point, was one of these SUVs actually has the little stick figure families that you see on the back of vehicles sometimes, the mom, the dad, the kids holding hands. One of the vehicles actually has that on it, and it's out of control now. It's just like
everything is converting to secret police.
Yeah. And one other thing, how do you combat CPS? I had an experience with CPS where it's true. They will frame you. They will say things that aren't true if you question their authority. I recently, honestly, was set up. I've got the letter to prove it, or where they're trying to lay a path that I'm a poor parent. Where do I go?
Well, there are a lot of different homeschooler associations and associations that have lawyers that we've had on many times that document the tactics. The biggest thing is don't have them in public school. That's where they hunt your kids. That's where they make stuff up. But they bankrupted most people who they have to be in public school. You teach your kids not to talk to the authorities, not to trust them, to keep their mouths shut, and that they're there to take them away from mommy and daddy and how bad these people are. That's what our forefathers did. We've lost that common sense. And you don't answer the door the first time they show up, and you stick a video camera in their face, and you explain you have the full Constitution and Bill of Rights behind you, and I would just stay away from them. And your kids are worth it. Before you ever even talk to them, it's just best to drop everything and move 5 counties over if you have to. Better safe than sorry, because they don't operate under the law. DynCorp runs most of the state CPS units. They run child kidnapping rings worldwide. I'd say probably half the CPS workers are pedophiles, and that's come out over and over again. And so it couldn't be a more criminal group. It's pedophiles with false authority coming after your family.
Yeah, another quick bit of info real quick. I heard the lady, the I don't know, a senator, congresswoman that was shot and her husband killed as well.
Yeah, the evidence is they were murdered. She was exposing in Georgia child kidnapping rings and about to bring out a lot of info, and that her and her husband were killed. Thank you for the call, Daryl. Let's talk to Ken in Ohio. Ken, you're on the air.
Hey, Alex, how are you?
I'm doing all right.
Good to hear. I always wondered why they wouldn't kill you, but, it's because we all love you so much. You do such a great job. They know how much you pissed off the American people that are awake.
Well, it's more than that. They would underline, highlight, and put an exclamation point on everything I've ever said if they killed me. They'd rather just destroy me, and that's why Media Matters, George Soros' outfit. Well, I'm going to cover this coming up, but go ahead.
Okay. I had a situation in Cleveland, Ohio, where the Guardian at Lightham was actually mob-related, and his father was trying to basically loan shark me money while he was trying to take my kids away for taking them to paintball. They took pictures of all the bruises on the kids from playing paintball at 13 years old.
Oh, they're taking people's kids now that get bruised in Little League football or baseball. And I've seen the court cases where the 7-year-old has a softball give him a black eye that we all got, and they say, we don't care. It's still your fault. We're taking your kids.
They had bruises on them, but they played paintball for like over 3 hours at 13 years old. I'd be amazed if they came out without a bruise.
They're supposed to get bruises. Listen, I know wealthy yuppies who come crying to me over and over again at a public park. Their kid falls off and breaks a finger. They don't care if they have witnesses. They try to take them. The government is hunting our children. They are hunting them. and people that just joined us, I read a bunch of articles from Chicago Tribune, you name it, read the congressional record where DynCorp and Halliburton are running child kidnapping rings. They run the CPS. I mean, you cannot make this up. It's so incredible.
I tell you, Alex, so I just took these guys to federal court, and I beat them in a federal RICO case. It can be done.
Well, also, you start following a CPS worker, which you can just start a blog, say it's a news event. They're all involved in crime. I mean, you follow them one time, you'll catch them going to a crack house. You follow them one time, you'll catch them taking kids out of the government custody to their rape rooms with their friends. You follow them one time, they're all that are evil. If it's evil ones that are lying about you, they're only criminals do this, and you will always catch them. Okay, I mean, I've sent people to prison in Austin in the city government, like the head of Access TV. I knew they were corrupt. I started following them. I started recording them. And he just got out of the pen 4 years later. I'm telling you. I mean, I go to the Capitol, I catch bribery, and the whole committee gets overturned. I mean, it's just they're all criminal. Cash, grabbing, money. Just you cannot imagine the evil. You scratch the surface of government, pus just spews out. I mean, it's just rot. I mean, it's like a rotten house with termites. You pull off any board, it looks fine. There's termites crawling around, roaches everywhere. I mean, I'm telling you. But good. I'm glad you kicked their butt. God bless you. Good to hear from you. Who's up next here? Hearing these stories from these people. Bob in California, you're on the air.
I have one quick question, Alex. On this Joe Stack thing with the airplane flying into the IRS building, whatever happened to Joe Stack's body? Was it found in the wreckage, or do you know anything about it?
They haven't been clear about that, and let's look that up. Joe Stack's body recovered. That should pull it up. They said there were a couple bodies in there. They weren't clear. Witnesses all said nobody in the plane. Emergency crews already there before it happened. That was later confirmed that happened. He had his tiny hangar with a top Homeland Security remote control aircraft expert. Joe Stack was tied into black ops. It's clear with bizarre flights into secretive military bases in the past. The whole manifesto is fake. His family says it. It's absolutely staged to kick off a war against the Patriot movement.
I believe that, but I just wondered what happened to his body. That was my question. If he either had to be in the wreckage or not or something, and so
well, there's KVUE. Sure. There's KVUE in Austin. Second body found in Echelon building was Joseph Stack. There's your answer. Appreciate your call. Of course, who knows if that's true. Local news around here says mercury's good for children's brains. New listeners won't believe it. Pull up mercury good for children's brains. Just YouTube it. Thank you. Let's go ahead now and go to Nick in Florida. Nick, you're on the air.
Hey, Alex. How are you?
Welcome.
I just had a couple of quick words of caution for the listeners. One would be that if you're running a blog, as I've had happen to me recently, you may want to look for your comments section, and you may notice that the Trilateral Commission just might be leaving comments on your blog. I've traced the IP addresses to several cryptic comments that posted.
Absolutely. We have thousands of visits a day by government agencies, and we can track their IPs, and the government's just in there calling for violence 24/7. Just, and then Media Matters comes out and says, I'm calling for violence because they're trying to set me up. Absolutely. So that's happened to you?
Yeah, that's happened to me. And there were cryptic movie quotes that were sort of threatening, and I traced them back, the IP address using Google, back to the Sakharov Plaza Trilateral Commission building, and so that was a little bit strange, and you may want to look out for that. And then the other thing that I wanted to just say is that if you're a parent and you're thinking about putting your child on psychotropic drugs, please just consider that if you've never taken it, why on earth would you put it in your child's mouth?
Absolutely. I appreciate the call. Well, I'm going to get into this Media Matters situation. I'm trying to go to as many calls as possible here. Nick in Florida, you're on the air. Okay, Anton in Detroit, go ahead. All right, let them go. Let's talk to Tony in Chicago. Tony?
Hey.
Welcome.
Hey, greetings from Strip 2 here, Alex.
You bet, buddy. What's up?
I'll tell you what. I was just going to tell you, I was watching Ed Schultz the other day, my favorite guy on TV, and he had
the guy that says ban free speech in America? Yeah.
All yesterday was different ways to quell free speech on every news network was about. That's all it was about. But back to what